goal by Steely, followed that up, and whoop, in it goes.
Why not give the show a call on 01413561972.
Rangers open the scoring, back to Tawdry, 12 minutes of the match remaining. A stunner from Kenny Miller, rifles it into the roof of the net.
Or send Fox a friend request on Skype at RangersRadio.online.
He's gone into the middle, McSwegan's in there too. Will he come for McSwegan? There's his header, and he scores! What a substitution! Running inside, is he going to let flies in? He scores! Good ball! Scores for Rangers!
Nacho Lobo with one kick of the ball to take Rangers to Manchester. Rangers are coming! The Scots are heading for Manchester, and you know what? Manchester may not be big enough.
Remember, it's all about the Rangers.
Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the panel this evening. There's the good and the bad, the young and the old, light and dark. The one and only Bridgeman and young Mount Vernon. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Oxshire. Evening, Bridgeman.
Good evening to the boys in the panel. Good evening to everybody in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
I don't know if we'll be hearing from Fox tonight, mate. He's I don't know, he's got some new thing on his form and he's got a new app, a new corn app, I think he said. So, whatever
Corn
that
app?
is. It sounded like that. It sounded like that. and just for the record, Sir John Gregg in the lobby, True Blue isn't a pansy. She was at the garden centre the day, brought True Blue pansies. Yeah, how are you, Mount?
Very well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. Fine. How are you finding this international break? I've got to be honest with you. I can't stand it.
It's just minging in it. It's just nothing good about it, to be honest with you. Plus, I'm not a follower of Scotland, so it's just very difficult, and it's a bit like the summer break in it a wee bit with the break up. I think it's, considering we're in the last sort of furlong of the season, to have an international break now. Players
for friendlies, mate. I just don't get it. Bridgeman, what about yourself?
Well, at this time of the year, it's kind of crucial. I don't understand why the SFA are even allowed to do this.
It's FIFA, mate. It comes through FIFA.
I'm saying that with the FAs then, but whomever they are, why they're interfering with the league setups. It's just crazy. Okay, they might want, I don't understand it, for friendlies. There's some teams are unfortunate. They'll not get any training, they'll not get any friendlies themselves, they'll not get nothing. So their players are going to be cold. Others are going to get a friendly in, a wee bit of advantage to them in some cases, I just don't understand it. Look, I don't know how many was at Hampden the other night, but I'll bet you it wasn't half full. There you go. So, and I'll tell you what, they were, most of the Rangers end would be empty. In fact, if not all of the Rangers end empty. That's the truth.
To be
I haven't seen it.
To be fair, I think JC makes a very good point in the lobby there about the only positive we could possibly take from it, allows some of our injured players to have more recovery, get some treatment. Some of the players that are not involved with the international setup, maybe gives them the opportunity to recharge their batteries going into the last part of the season. But again, it seems a bit arbitrary, the fact that we have a winter break, then we've got these international breaks as well. It just seems that it just doesn't seem sort of coordinated very well for me, Oxshire.
I don't get the logic, Kate, for friendlies. I can understand what they're trying to do for qualifiers. Even that, I don't agree with. I think to take a fortnight to play 2 games is ridiculous. But for friendlies, Mount, I just don't get it, and I don't see what it achieves, because if you're planning for a tournament, well, you can't really start. You can make your plans, but you don't know who's going to be fit in 10 weeks' time,
Yeah, it's. I think again, it's just it's symptomatic of the game in general. I think there's certain things we've had the introduction of the the VAR, we've had the the introduction of these linesmen next to the goal line, and it just seems things seem to be going from bizarre to bizarre with the authorities that run our game and govern our game. Never mind the debacle of the SFA in this country, about the governance of the game.
I think the people they forget about, Bridge, is the paying customers
100%.
who go and watch their teams, who make football. I'm not talking about international football, I'm talking about the people who go and watch their teams week in, week out, home and away, and they support their team, and it's the backbone, all the divisions that make football the game it is. International football is like a step above, it's whatever, however you want to dress it up, but I don't think it's even brought, these friendly breaks have brought anything to international football because nobody's interested.
Can I just put the point? One of the points I always think about when we talk about international friendlies, they may be necessary for somebody, yeah. But we in this little backwater here, we're watching the rest of the world introducing this, what Mount Vernon mentioned, third or fourth official standing at the goals and so on and so forth. And whether that's going to come to our ordinary week about football, I don't know. We're going to talk about introducing VAR, goal line technology, all of these things. And we're told that our organisations can't afford that. Now, I don't know what they can't afford.
Scottish football's going to bring BAR in.
Aye, probably.
What's that stand for?
When you go, Bridge?
No, I was just going to say that if we can afford to send people a full squad of, let's say, 30 plus players-wise, maybe 30 players plus everybody that goes with that, so they'll be hiring a plane and all, that's going to cost a right few £1,000 to do that. I'm sure that, when they do these things, they should be able to introduce at least something to the game in Scotland at a cost, whatever the cost is. They should be able to afford that. But they don't seem to be, maybe they don't have the will or the way, or the politics that's going on at the FA, the mess that's been in. Hopefully they'll get their house in order and drive the whole game forward, but I doubt it. I'm just disappointed. We could end up 10, 15, 20 years behind other countries in the introduction of this new technology and new thought processes to help the fans. Because it's the fans that, to me, the fans are the ones that get the biggest, shall we say, disappointment. So when they see something on the park, from all the different angles, let's say Ibrox, I'm at the Copeland Road, but if something happens down at the Broomlawn goal, I don't see it all clearly. But I think it's like that. They don't use the modern technology to show you the replays, which we would like, and nor do they have these VAR to go into sort out the disputes. So these kind of things would help the game and help the fans, because you don't need to come out the game and start saying, well, it was like this, it was like that. Somebody's seen it, get it flashed up on the big screens and says here, within half a minute, just for saying sake, there you go, that's the result. Bang, everybody accepts it. Just like tennis, they get that Hawkeye in, and Hawkeye works. It's the same in the, what do you call it, cricket?
I've got my, cricket, mate, you can just get a bit of tape, shove it on the ball, and do what you like now. But
yeah, no, but I'm saying, when there's a dispute, is it LBW, is it this? They can go, let's see it, and let the guys do it, and the computerised thing tells them, yes, that's it. And everybody accepts that. What I mean is everybody accepts it. In rugby, they've got the referee there, and the referee's telling the players, if you do that again, it's a penalty. If you do that, move back, or it's going to be. And then they've got the VAR, the television box, to decide in really controversial.
Let's get back to, I mean, that's a whole different debate, but we're talking about for the paying customer. Is the break a good thing? I mean, no, I just don't get it. I don't get what it does. I don't get what it achieves for friendly football. Maybe just me, I've got that view. But people might see it differently. Maybe, only time will tell, but I don't get it. I really don't. Anyway, Bridge, if people want to join us, what's the number? Keep it simple now.
The number is 0141 356 1972.
You can join us at RangersRadio.online. Come and join us and talk about anything Rangers related, anything you want, Mount Vernon. There you go. There's an offer for you. Oh, we lost Mount.
Is he around?
Oh, he's gone.
Raging.
It's Sting, it's you. I don't mind him doing it. I don't like when you drop it. I always get worried.
No. See that point I was making about being far behind? That, to me, is for the fans. All this stuff is to help the game and help the fans, particularly the fans, because that's what it's all about. We're getting more modern, but somewhere along the line, this little backwater we've managed to hate ourselves into as a nation. We're absolutely shocking, and we're going to end up with the poorest football association in the world, and they'll do nothing for us. The fans will be left behind.
They seem to forget. Anyway, we've been joined, I think it's Denver, evening Denver. Denver? Oh, I'm sure
he's not talking to you. He's not talking to you.
The story of my life, Brad.
How you doing, guys?
Oh, there he's there.
How we doing, mate? What's on your mind?
Just don't know if you noticed, you guys were, the folks on here on Rangers Radio were getting pelters and follow last night, calling it an amateurish show and all that. And it's just ranting and raving. And I don't know if you saw that yesterday or not.
Yes, I did see it, mate. I just find it quite sad, really, but there you go.
Aye. That's the way I... Stuff, you know,
Well, you know, Denver, that's up to them. You know, there's not much we can do. You know, there's not much we can do. Sometimes you're not far right enough. You know, you don't go far right enough, and we're looking to be, you know, we are what we are. In my opinion, anyway, we are what we are. People can come on and enjoy it, or people don't need to come on at all. I'd rather they didn't come on than come on and then go somewhere else and slag it. You know, I think it's wrong to do that.
I think people, it's easy to throw stones. I mean, we're not getting involved. We only said what we said about Club 1872 was because it was the truth. We asked them on. They told us that they had elections coming up, which was a valid answer. They would get back to us. Then we were approached with somebody in Club 1872 who said he was coming on. And the next thing we heard through a third party that they weren't coming on because they didn't think we were big enough, which is fair enough. It's they're entitled to the point of view, but without speaking to us, without checking the numbers, we've seen how many people we go to, how we do it. I mean, it's no hundreds of people. Over the weeks, it's tens of thousands of people. Some weeks, mate, depending how the football and the stories are going, that we get to. So we're not for profit. We're not getting any agendas. We're driven by the callers. We weren't going to raise that subject tonight, Denver. I'm going to be honest with you.
Right, we'll change the subject right away then.
No, Denver. No, only because we didn't want. We're not getting involved in any tit for tat or personality. It's not our style, you know.
I know that.
You know. But I'm glad that people appreciate. On you go, mate.
Being an exile, I've found that, you know, like guys like myself get kind of dismissed on a lot of the forums, you know, like because you don't go to Ibrox every week, you don't maybe go to Ibrox for a couple of years, you're kind of dismissed as a Rangers fan. With not a lot of people, but certain people, and it's always the same agenda all the time. You're in America, what the hell do you know about the Rangers? You know, it's a weird dynamic that, you know.
I'm no local to Ibrox anymore, mate. You know, I'm not abroad, but I'm no local to Ibrox anymore. And I know some people do it, but everybody's got different reasons, their lives, and it doesn't take away your love for the Rangers.
Oh, I know, fine, aye.
You know,
Denver, just to say to you, I'm a season ticket, a long time season ticket holder at Ibrox. and I still get slagged to death, so it makes no difference what it is, you know.
I were a strange crew at times, the Rangers fans, you know, at each other's backs and all that, you know. I don't think we realise how much we've got if we would all just get together and get on each other's side, you know. It would be, we've got a fantastic chance there, you know.
Sorry, Bridge. We wanted
please.
We wanted Club 1872 on know that just so they could tell us what they wanted to do, what they were trying to achieve, and the same as what they're having in their meetings around the country, so we could let people hear it, and if people wanted to sign up for it, great. You know, that's all we were wanting to do, Denver. Anything that's good for the club, or people want to speak about the club, we've not got a problem with it.
Aye, I know. Anyway, on the other things. What's the injury update? Do we know any injury updates, guys?
Well, if you just hang fire for a few minutes, Denver, we might hear from your manager, but we've also been joined by Travelrog. Evening, Travelrog.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Travel. How are you doing?
Right, let me say that again. All right, he must be abroad. He's pretty clear.
I am. I'm still abroad. I am in the land of the Viking.
All right. How we doing, mate? How's things? You're sounding a bit healthier.
I fully recovered now. Back on the ball now. So.
Right.
I'm.
You're at the side with the sniffles, didn't you?
Aye. I don't know. Doctor told me to take 2 weeks off, but being a good Protestant, I only took a week off and straight back to work. You know.
Ah well, that night nurse works a wonders, doesn't it?
It is, aye. Wee bit of Calpol.
What's on your mind, mate?
No,
You're not going to get. You weren't reading that thread as well, were you?
No, but I did read previously about Club 1872 not coming on here, and I found that I think it's very strange because they should be taking every opportunity to get any platform to speak to any of the fans. But I'm not really surprised, if I'm being honest. So it's a shame. My own thoughts, and this is my thoughts, so please be clear. They seem to be spending more time and trying to drum up more money than actually coming out and doing stuff and saying stuff that appeals to the whole support and not just a selection of the selection of people that are maybe on their side. They should be trying harder to win people like me around. As it stands at the moment, I won't join Club 1872. I've got too many doubts about what's actually happening there, and by saying things or doing things like what they've done by refusing to come onto this platform and no coming out and supporting the club when they're being vilified by political parties, media, no coming out and making statements like that. See if they actually showed some, then they would maybe start to win people like me around who would invest. But I am, as it stands at the moment, my money will stay firmly in my pocket, and I'll spend my money through the club how I see it just now. I don't have any interest in following or joining Club 1872.
Funny thing, that's travel, and I don't mean to be flippant when I say this. It was maybe when we were hoping to come on and they could maybe strike a chord with somebody like yourself and use news and examples. All right, okay, I'll give that a go and see how it goes. We don't know how it was going to go or what they were going to say, and that was all we were trying to achieve. We weren't wanting them on here because we desperately want them on. We want anybody who wants to talk about any Rangers-related subject. You know, with some of them, you know, it's just...
So I'll use an example of what's happened in the past week. Mm-hmm. They won't come on and try and speak to people like myself or foreign bears like Denver or Big Al or whoever it may be, but they'll go and hold a question and answer session in the boozer.
I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with them going to a Rangers boozer and having a question and answer. There's nothing wrong
I don't agree. I don't disagree with it, but what I'm saying is, you guys gave them the opportunity, and they. I don't think. If I'm with the greatest respect to the guys, because we've not spoke to anybody, I don't think they realise
sometimes how many people listen to this, because we're always surprised.
I know, aye, fair enough. But
you know, I'll bring in Fox, because he'll be sitting there, travel, and I'll tell you now, we weren't going to raise this subject tonight because we didn't want to get involved in a slagging match with anybody on the forums. It ain't our style. Fox, you there?
I'm indeed, pal.
There we go, Denver. Obviously, we were chatting before the show.
It's nothing to do with 1872 or people on follow, mate. A lot of people slag the show that have never listened to it, mate. We don't pretend that we're some sort of professional outfit. We're odd as bears. You know, we just put this platform on so people like yourself, Travel in Denver, can have a wee say where you wouldn't normally. And I was all for 1872. I've still no got anything against them, mate. And maybe at a later date we'll get them on when they maybe have time to fit us in, you know.
On you go, Travel.
No, I know the type of guys that are involved in running this, and we all have our opinion, and you're right, it gives us all a chance to come and vent our spleens. I'm probably the worst one immediately after a game. I should stop phoning in after the game because I'm usually raging, and give me 24 hours and I'll have settled down and maybe gathered my thoughts and watched the game again. But it's a great it's great therapy, as you often say.
Aye. We've had some good laughs and all, haven't we?
Absolutely, aye. But we're real fans.
And we've met some smashing people through this, you know.
And it comes down to things like we help each other out with tickets. We go and have a blather before the game, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, we're real fans that have got a real passion for the club, and we are all trying to get the club going in the right direction. And if that's through supporter involvement and supporter involvement on the board, yeah, we can all see the benefit in these things. However, as it stands, Club 1872 haven't really sold that to me. So they could have had an opportunity to do that, and they didn't take a good opportunity as far as I can see. And fair enough to Fox, and he's more tolerant than I am. He's saying they'll give them an opportunity at a later date when it suits them. As I say, he's more tolerant than me. I don't think they've set their stall out very well. They should be appealing to every single supporter, no matter whether it's 5 years or it's 5,000 days.
Mount Vernon's back with us. Mount?
Sorry, mate. I just had to knock out there. Somebody chapped the door, mate. Sorry,
beg your
pardon.
All right.
Mate, sorry.
It's a bit early for trick or treating.
No.
Isn't it Club 1872 by any chance, is it?
I can't.
Maybe Ibrox Loyal.
Guys, I need to run on. I've got a meeting at 2:30 today, so I'll call you back later, guys.
All right, Denver. Thanks very much, mate, and thanks for the call, mate. Speak to you later.
Sorry for bringing that subject up, guys.
No, not at all, mate. We did think that somebody else might raise it, but we weren't going to raise it, Denver. Yeah, if that makes sense.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm 5,000 miles away, so you've got nothing to worry about. All right.
That's all right, mate. You've got guns as well.
You've got guns. You've got plenty of hardware out here. You know. All right, Braz. We'll speak to you later.
See you later, Denver. See you later, Denver.
So just, sorry, what was the debate there? Sorry, I just missed. I was literally just at the door there. Sorry.
We'll come back to it, mate.
Please,
we
mate.
need to get right.
Please.
We need to get right around the houses again. But Bridgeman, look, we welcome any Rangers supporter on here, don't we? We welcome any Rangers project on here. We welcome any Rangers charity. It ain't our platform; it's the people's platform.
Yeah, it's the guys that are involved with it. You know, they like to come in here. It's a place, a refuge in some cases for them, and they enjoy themselves. And there's a lot of guys that are very regular on here, and they seem to thoroughly enjoy themselves. And it's to me, it's a rather pleasant place to be. But like everywhere else, when you've got debate coming up, sometimes the debate can be heated, but that's going to happen anyway. I think it's a very middle of the road station. There's nothing controversial about it, to my knowledge anyway. And I think we do a rather grand job for the guys that want to be involved with us and take part. And that's what it's all about. It's all about taking part. And some people are on every night, other people are on maybe once a week, twice a week. It doesn't matter. But they're always welcome on here. And they can say what they like.
But the subjects are driven by the Rangers stories, mate.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we won the last 2 games and everybody was buzzing, the atmosphere would be different, the stories would be different. You know, our whole platform, Fox, is governed by the Rangers stories, eh?
Of course it is, mate. It's just bears chatting away, mate. We're not trying to make a big stir anywhere in the broadcasting world. I think it's a platform that we don't advertise. So a lot of people only have heard of us. We depend on word of mouth. And we've had a lot of good feedback for both Follow and Rangers Media, etc. as well, mate. So it's just somebody that added it to a thread that was already going and nothing to do with the actual platform, I don't think. Anyway, it's not a good subject to stay on, I don't think, you know.
Time to move on and listen. On you go, Travel, if you get something to say.
Just when we're talking about good Ranger stories and probably take us away from this subject, but I've not seen it. The only place I've seen it was on Twitter, but I think it was the Glasgow Children's Hospice had tweeted thanking Rangers for all the mascots at Legends game on Saturday afternoon. That was all patients for the hospice, and I thought that was a great touch by the club that all the Waynes got an opportunity to go out there and be mascots on that day. I think things like that don't get covered enough, and some of it looked like some of the parents or family members of some of the kids had responded saying it was a great day for them and thanks for making their day, and it must be hard for these families, but to even get a wee break for it and get a day out like that's magnificent for the club. So, probably from the charity foundation, I think it's a smashing thing. So, kudos to the club for doing something like that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you're spot on. Sometimes the kids and that just need something to look forward to. It puts a smile on their face. And if it made one of them happy, it's worthwhile.
It's worthwhile, exactly. Yes, absolutely. And even seeing Fernando's, the smile on Fernando's face at one stage. Yeah, unfortunately, I was away working, so I wasn't at the game. But looking through some of the pictures, it was to see the smile on Fernando's face. That again, the whole day was probably worth it just to see that as well. So.
I wish young Ibrox was here, because I think that Alfredo Morelos has been coaching young Mr. Dallas with a missy on with a few minutes to
go. I mean, I seen some people criticising him for getting the Grado and the River City guys and all that on, and I thought that was great, bringing a wee bit different to it, and I watched Grado's interview after it, and you could see how chuffed that boy was. He was just it was the greatest thing in the world for him, you know. And fair enough, like, they could. Somebody was saying they could have a draw for the charity foundation where you buy a ticket for £5 and you could get out in the park, or your Wayne could get out in the park, and that's maybe stuff that they should do in future, but. You can see what it means to people that aren't the actual football players to even get out there on the park. It's amazing. I mean, I've done the tour and everything, and you were under strict orders not to step on the pitch. But sometimes I think the club could go a wee bit further and have another thing, past season or something like, you know.
I never get that, mate. I never get that with the tours. If the weather's right and you could give overshoes and people could walk out the centre circle, they're not going to damage it, are they?
No, absolutely no. But I think it's
remind me where Ibrox is. We get a bit of sunshine, a lot of rain. It's not hard to grow grass, is it?
No, it's no.
I think in other parts of the city it's not as difficult. Oxfordshire, I don't think.
Aye, they've got a lot of light as well, and they do different types of grass. But that's another story, man. We watched it. I watched bits and pieces on Saturday, and it was okay. It was what you expected, but that McCoy still put the ball in the net bridge, man.
I believe he got a hat-trick. I saw a wee snippet saying he got a hat-trick. Is that right?
I only touched the ball twice, so I don't know how that works, but that was his usual, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he's obviously he likes to think he's still a poacher to a certain extent. If he can score a hat-trick, he score a hat-trick,
Aye. Great testament, great cause. People turned up, enjoyed it. Maybe publicity, timing of the year for the weather, for people going along, no ideal, but it's never an ideal time for to do anything. So fair play to the people who done it, fair play to the players who turned up. There was a lot of class on that park on its day, and by the way, that Pedro Mendes, if anybody's seen him, it was at the game. He still looked as if he could play for us just now.
I think they were saying the same about Thomas Buffel as well. So.
He just finished up last year, didn't he?
Last week.
What was it?
No, I think it was. I heard one of the interviews saying that he played in the Belgian Cup final last week or something. So, but I mean, I went to the AC Milan game, which, if I can remember right, was almost a sellout with the Legends game. But, that was, I wonder, Ox, if the results had been better. There was a better feeling about the.
If we'd have took 6 points out of 6, mate, you could have doubled that crowd that was there. I know that's quite sad to say, but I think that's the effect that the results have had. I don't know.
Especially after that Kilmarnock game, I think some of us were thinking, I'll never ever want to watch a game of football again in my life. So
I would get football stopped that game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I know. So, that's unfortunate, but there you go. Well done to everybody that did turn up, and I hope they enjoyed their day. So.
If anybody was at the game, they can give us a phone. And what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972. That's 1972 in old money.
Or you can tell us your thoughts on the game, how you enjoyed it, and if you think it was a worthwhile exercise or something that could be an annual event, Fox.
Certainly could, mate. That's the first game at Ibrox I've missed all season, mate, and if I hadn't been so no well last week, I'd have definitely went. They're great occasions, mate. It's great for fathers to take their kids along to. Maybe it's a wee bit difficult to get a game on match day now because of the high season tickets we've got and the demand for the rest of the tickets that's left. So I hope to God a lot of fathers took their kids along, mate, and see some real players that played for Rangers.
So he was going to say, said their father to his son.
I might have broke out with that in a minute, mate.
Fox, it was the other way about. The last game, because my father doesn't keep that well, but the last game that I took him to was the AC Milan Legends game, and I'm thinking, because I said to him, we'll go along to that, Dad. There'll not be much of a crowd. Jesus, the place was full.
That was a marvellous day, wasn't it? That was an absolute marvellous day, mate. I think there was about 45,000 at that or something.
It was chocker anyway, but I mean, some of the players that was on show that day, Maldini and all, it was brilliant. So
I think even the Italians were shocked at the crowd, mate. I think they were expecting about 5,000 or 10,000. They must have got some surprise when they walked through the tunnel that day because the place was gutted, you know.
It was great. It was great.
Another thing, Planter Bears asking how did young Dallas and Palmer do. I seen bits of it myself, and I was glad to see young Cammy Palmer. I've think quite a lot of that young boy, and that must have been some privilege for these young boys to run about the park with some of the legends that was on it, you know.
I bet they learned more about Patter than they did about football.
I'll take it the dressing room would be absolutely hilarious, you know.
Aye.
I think I've seen the interview with a couple of the boys after it, and they were saying just exactly as Fox said. It was a great occasion for them, and to be playing in front of a crowd like that. And I think one of them had said to be getting shouted at and being given instruction by Walter Smith was just like something they'd never ever thought he'd be able to do. You know, so it's things like that that make even that day for these boys it probably gives them a target, something to aim for in future, because they've had a wee touch at it now, so they know that they've got something to aim for in future, you know. So, great that they're getting these boys involved. That's fantastic.
I'm also in agreement with you with the boy Grado and the two boys at River City. They're bears just like all the rest of us, mate, and it must have been some thrill for them.
Oh, aye. I mean, I know the wee Stephen Purden one, the one that plays Chelsea, Bulber, whatever, in River City. He's a season ticket holder. Can you imagine that, folks?
Ah, of course they are, mate. No bears. A wee bit also, like Ox was saying, mate, they should have done a sponsorship deal for maybe a couple of young supporters to go on there as well, mate. Maybe boys in their 20 to 30s or something.
Never mind young, what was?
You're in the Ali McCoy's mould, mate. You've got the same build as him. We're talking about fit young boys that could have showed us a wee bit.
I'd still score a goal, but
it doesn't matter. I'd have been buying half a dozen tickets if it was going for it, so aye.
Anyway, according to all reports, it was a great day and everybody enjoyed it. So fair play to the Bears that turned up for it.
What was the final crowd, Foxy?
I think some people were saying about 15 to 20, mate. Maybe.
Yeah, I thought that's brilliant. I mean, I know you guys have said that in the past there's been certain special events that we've got a lot of. 30, 40,000. It needs to be something really special. I don't think that was special enough at this time of the season, in my opinion. You know, I'm happy with it. I'm very pleased, and I hope they made a lot of money.
As long as it was a worthwhile exercise for all concerned, and the good causes made the good money for the good causes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we're moving on. We're back into that's behind us. We're building up to the weekend's game, and we've got a lot coming. It is obviously this week coming up's a big game because we want to get momentum. But I think the focus now will be on a week on Sunday. If I'm being really honest, Fox.
Of course, mate. Yeah, it's going to be a long time to that before we see a game. So, just doing the final thing on the Legends game, mate. I liked the orange strip, and apparently those on the other side hated it. So, Rangers, get your finger out. We all know which strip we want. A nice orange away strip.
Tangerine, Fox. It's tangerine.
It's orange to me, mate.
I am very orange. I think you'd like to class it as, but no, I think I seen the crazies were foaming again about that. You know,
they must have been watching it then.
I know. See the thing is it's nothing. I was talking about this the other day to somebody, and it's like these people don't ever. I know it's a bit of a tangent here, but just talking about the crazies, these people genuinely take things to a new level every time they open their mouth, don't they? They really do. Some of these people, do you know what I mean? It's just bizarre. Do you know what I mean? It's a charity match where, you know, that people, throughout the community is going to benefit, and you know these crazies are just Sorry, mate. Maybe I'm getting too old. In my old age of 25, but I just.
What are they saying? What are they saying? What are they saying?
Do you know what it's like, mate? Fox is right. They've just come on and you know want to sort of say things on social media about the orange kit and Jesus.
Right. What kind of things? If you don't mind me asking, what kind?
What do you think, Bridge? What's lovely?
Aye, it's just.
Well, are they saying that? Are they saying that Rangers are trying to make a point from a sectarian perspective?
I think
I'm putting it nicely here, guys.
I think it was a wee red hand on the right hand side and sponsored by Full Tilt Poker, mate. That upset them.
Nah. I think it's just interesting. That's what I'm going to say.
I think the last time Rangers got that special orange strip, it drove them crazy, and some of them were at the point of suicide, I must admit, and it never stopped. It just. I would imagine it would be a similar thing. My problem. Sorry, pal.
As long as we weren't sponsored by the Trophy Centre, we're all right.
Correct, exactly. And I'm just wondering at what point Rangers will set their stall out and say, look, we're not going to listen to you guys anymore. You're not driving this bus. We're on our own bus and we're driving it here. This is what we're going to do. Nobody in this league or this association can tell us which colour of shirt to wear, no matter what it is. That's what I would say.
I mean, just on the on top, I know it's a bit of a tangent, obviously, but I would love to see it. I really would.
I tell you, man.
Like,
I would look like a Tango Man if I bought it, but I'll be putting a pre-order in for it.
Me too. Me too.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do them in large medium travel run.
But you're a cheeky devil, yeah.
Do you know? I mean, here's where I stand with this. See what they do in their stadium when we're no there. I couldn't care less. I have got no interest. I couldn't tell you who they're playing. Well, obviously I know they're playing us soon, but it was last week. I couldn't tell you who they were playing. I had to ask somebody on the boat who are they playing this week, and I've got no interest in what they do. So why are they get such a fascination in getting involved in everything we're doing? It just I can't be bothered.
Are you asking me? Are you asking me? Or
I'm asking you.
I've not got a clue. Because I'm in the same boat as you, mate. I really am. No pun intended there. See what I done there?
I'm not on a boat, so you're all right.
Right, but who's typing? So
not me.
We I mean, it was a charity match. The two teams have got to wear different colours. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Yeah? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm with you. What they do in their stadium. Whatever. They have orange at their stadium every week, didn't they? You don't get upset.
Madness, isn't it, mate? Madness.
You know? I don't know. Anyway, we digress, shall we say, like we do. Like we do all the time.
Just before you move away, I tried to call in during the international thing, but I was obviously in a wee bit of delay. I know you're saying it's a waste of time and everything, but is it only because our national team is poor and it doesn't really appeal to us? I would imagine that the Ulster fans and the Welsh fans are all having a great time.
Don't hear, mate. All the football fans say the exact same thing, mate. They interest in it. There was no great TV audience for the internationals at the weekend. It was not a bad game, potentially England versus Holland, and that didn't have great interest neither, mate.
Okay.
You know, it's just no working friendly fixtures, mate.
Fair enough, no. But
18 players get on the park, they stroll on after 10 minutes, come off and all that. It's not a real game of football. And, I don't know what the answer is, but that's a whole different subject on its own. But no, the same thing down here, mate. You're building up to the World Cup, you know. Anyway, so we're looking forward to the weekend's game, starting to build it up, starting to talk about all things Rangers. We're moving on. But I think we've got an opportunity here for your manager, so if you don't mind going on mute, let's hear for your manager, Mr. Graham Murray.
The boys have been left here, have trained with good energy, good intensity, but they've also had a bit of time off, which I think is completely appropriate given the load that they've been through, given the work that they've done. So we've given them some time off. Obviously, we're monitoring all of our international players very closely, and we'll make sure they get the requisite number of days rest, and we try and get ourselves ready for the next game.
There's a number of players that have obviously featured for their international teams, and that must be very pleasing from a Rangers perspective to see those players impacting at that level now.
Well, I think you look at people like Declan John coming up to Rangers and then getting his call and playing in a fantastic win for his team. Bruno's getting back into the Portuguese side. Jamie Murphy obviously getting on the pitch. Jason Cummins being in and around it. We're looking at lots and lots of different people coming here and getting international recognition. I think more than anything else, it's lit a fire under those guys left behind to say, I want a piece of that. I want to go and experience what it's like at the next level, which is good for us as a group. It's good for us as a management staff, but it's also good for the players to get that recognition. If they play well, international managers will sit up and take notice.
And how good for the football club as well to have these players, playing all over the world for some excellent.
It's great. It's great to try and take us to the level that we want to be at. Good teams have international players in them, and we want more. We want more good players. We want more people capable of representing their country, and bringing that skill set and that learning mindset as well that you have to have as an international footballer into our club.
And I think it's something we spoke about in your previous role as under-20s coach, but right through the youth setups for Scotland, dominated really by Rangers players at all levels.
And that's great for us, and they're showing up really well. But we want to continue that on. Don't want to be happy with it. We don't want to ever get to a stage where we stop striving to improve. I know those guys know when they come back, they're going to be held to a higher standard. So you can't go away on international duty and then come back here and relax. You've got to come back here and kick on, particularly the younger players. It's no good being an under-17 international if you don't then make that transition up into the senior group. So we want them to keep on going and get caps at the highest standard they possibly can. And that's always a challenge. But you come to a big club like this to go and try and play in big games and get international recognition. That should be par for the course for a player at this club.
So how will the week pan out from here on in? Because I guess you'll be starting training today, Monday, but then you'll have players filtering in as the week goes on.
We're going to monitor those guys, and obviously we've got people back in. Greg Doherty's back in today, having played in Andorra, so he's back into training. He's desperate to get back on the training pitch. But we won't have people back until Wednesday, so we'll have to structure our week slightly differently. We'll do our main bulk of our tactical stuff, not necessarily energetically, but it'll be Thursday. We'll be looking at what we're trying to do, and then a match prep session on Friday. Until then, it's about a restart. It's about making sure the guys regenerate really well, and we get them moving up to the right level gradually, rather than dropping into a massive hit of a session today, because that wouldn't be appropriate after a couple of days off. So we need to make sure that we monitor each player individually and give them what they need.
And just finally, Nico Cranchar has left the club this week, and I guess you wish him all the best.
Definitely. Listen, Nico's been a top professional. He's worked extremely hard. Obviously, he hasn't had the best of time with injuries, but we've made the decision mutually to go our separate ways, and we wish Nico all the best. He's been, personally, for me, he's been really good to work with, a good professional, a good guy to have around, technically possibly the best player I've seen up close as a coach. But we just thought it was appropriate to him, to be respectful to him, to allow him to seek out that next challenge.
All right. Thanks for that, Fox. We'll take it in reverse order. Nice words about Nico Cranchar. I think everybody's happy. Shake hands. A financial settlement, both parties winners, and you move on, Bridge. He was done, but he showed glimpses the player he was. But he goes with our best wishes, and it frees up some wages moving forward for us.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for it. I think as this season progressed, obviously he struggled to get free of the injury, and when he did, he found that the team now was a wee bit more full of better quality players, and he would have to really shine to be what he wanted to be, where he should have been 2 years ago when he came. But he's never going to attain those heights. The players that we've got in now, if they play at their potential, they'll be way above him, given his conditions. I'm afraid that you're lucky if you see him in 5-10 weeks a season. That's all you're going to see at him. Or that's all you've seen at him anyway. So I'm afraid that I wish him nothing but well. I think I was really looking forward to seeing him. I thought the name himself and the way he could play, based on what we saw, he looked fabulous. And when we saw him, sometimes he looked really good. But when he came up against the better quality teams, he struggled a bit, for sure.
Aye, as a learning curve, Travelrug, that we've got to be really, really careful when we're signing these veterans. I mean, you'll say Davy Weir, I'll say Bruno Alves and Cranchar. You'll say Hugo Egiog and I'll say Joey Barton, so you've got to be really careful when you're giving them decent money, and are you going to get a return for it? Because when your legs go, mate.
No, absolutely. I think that well for Burnley when we got him, so that was a. I don't think we expected that to end so sourly. Maybe if you think about the character of the player, if you consider the way that we're scouting players now, Joey Barton wouldn't be anywhere near the club, because I don't think he would have the characters that they've made with the recent signings. don't forget we signed Philip Senderos around about that time as well. So that was a panic. For me, that was a panic buy. We probably signed names as opposed to actual scouting these players and seeing that they were still doing a job. So Senderos and Cranchar, for me, probably were signed purely on the names of them. And I don't think they put a lot of the management team put a lot of work in and actually watched the players and said, well, he's still got it. I think if anybody probably went and watched Cranchar, they would see that he was maybe having a bit of a holiday or there in America, and we've suffered for it. It's a shame because I think we were all excited when we heard it, but then when you actually seen the reality, we were nothing but disappointed. And do you know what? It doesn't just apply to veterans. Jordan Rossiter is another name that you wonder why we got this player for Liverpool. Actually, now I can see why we got this player for Liverpool. So I would like to think that we're a wee bit more professional, a wee bit more. We spend a bit more time and a bit more patience before we jump in and sign players. I've been really impressed with the business that the club's done during that last transfer window. But when you think about some of the players that we've got that we're going to have to get ready, and fair enough, Nico, but we've also got players like Dodo, Forrester, all these guys that are Bridges, mate, what's that boy, the Francis one? Him. All these guys are there, they're just
Michael Halloran.
Aye. So these guys are there just draining money at the club, and it was probably laziness. And
the reason Bridge didn't like him, when they have the former pupils dinner at the school, he's a bigger turd than Bridge is. That's the problem.
Was he the school ducks and Bridge didn't he make it there?
Aye, that's the problem. He's coming in a minute, I'm going to get it. I think we'll go to Fox and then we'll go to Young Mount. Is there a learning curve in it for us as a club, mate? We've got to be really, really careful when you sign the veterans. I know Trevor Rose came back in with Jordan Rossiter, and it can happen with young men with injuries, but when you've seen Alves and we've seen Cranchar, their legs have gone, mate, and it's close on embarrassing at times.
There was a lot of players in the journey up for the third division, mate, that we had to take gambles on. We didn't have a lot of money to throw about at one time, and I think that's a natural progression, getting better and better, mate. Cranker was a better player than some of them that we'd signed in the divisions before. Unfortunately, the game in Scotland is so fast that he couldn't fit in for me, but there was no doubt about his class, mate. His legs had gone, but he could fairly spread the ball about and showed the class of player that he was before. We were unlucky with Rossiter. We took a gamble on him and it's no worked out. Pedro Alves, mate, I watched the highlights of the Portugal-Egypt game and I never seen him once in it, mate. So I don't think he would have been a standout because he never got into any of the clips I was watching. The two stars of the game, of course, were Ronaldo and the boy Salah for Liverpool, who were exceptional. But it's just a natural progression. As you go up in class of a player, you'll pick up one or two duds that you've took the gamble on, and that's the learning curve we're on, Ox. And no doubt some of the signings that we've got at the present will also fall into that category as we move up to a higher quality of player.
Mount Vernon.
I think it's an interesting debate, but I think Alves came with a lot of promise, and he's obviously not delivered. You couldn't really question his pedigree or I think we were all very, very excited with the signing, but I think like any good team, it's a mixture of older heads and younger people. Give us a good sort of balance across it. I think some of the boys raised some good points. I think we've got to be cautious with, especially the older players. We've got to maybe do a wee bit more due diligence on them, see what their fitness levels are. Perhaps put these guys on trial for a period of time to see how their fitness goes. Perhaps maybe a contract play as you play or pay as you earn type thing. Perhaps maybe be better options. But no, as I said, I think it's like anything. I think injuries and injuries can happen to any player at any time in their career. And I think it's up to us to get it right before we commit to these players. But as I said, I think considering some of the injuries some of our players have had this season, I think it's one of the ones,
Aye, fair comment. The injuries can happen to anybody, anytime. That's just part and parcel of the game. But Ridgeman, you're somebody who looks at particular issues on the pitch, maybe the centre half. I think sometimes people would say it's good to have experience there, but have we learned a lesson? Do you think we have to? Is Cranchard and Senderos, are there Pedro's, Alves and maybe Pena? They underestimated Scottish football.
Yeah, I think both of those that you mentioned, you're talking about Pena and Senderos, we saw that they were finished. Really and truly, that guy Pena had said after watching him twice, you'd be lucky to see him fit in 9 months. I said you would be lucky to see him fit by January. Unfortunately, he's been moved on, and I think he's been proven he's still not quite fit, is he? So whether he would ever attain fitness again is doubtful. It's the same with Senderos, and to be honest, Cranchard fits that bill as well, and to a certain extent, Bruno Alves. When you speak about centre halves, I thought he's going to come in and not just play fabulous as he can, and he showed he can jump, still fit, still quite fit. He can still jump and clear the ball. But my goodness, I thought his influence on the other guys would be great. I think the only person that got any benefit out of Bruno Alves was in fact young Bates, and I thought he learned a bit from when he came on a ton. But Alves, I'm sorry, biggest disappointment. We've seen at Ibrox for a while. Biggest disappointment.
Aye, that's my point, mate. I mean, when obviously you sign these players, they've got great pedigree. I mean, Cranchard was a marvellous player. One of my best mates down here is a big Spurs supporter, and he always said he was a yard short of being generally world class because he could do things with the ball, and we saw glimpses of that. The guy had great talent. Alves has played at the top level against with good teams at a great level, but when your legs go, Bridge, it doesn't matter if you're playing amateur football or you're playing at the top level. It's nature.
When they go, pal, and there's no much you can do about it other than admit it. It provided something for Rangers fans for a short period of time. I don't know how much Rangers paid for Cranchard, but it lifted our hopes during sort of some troubled times. So he came in. I think he's a big disappointment to himself as well, because his fitness has been quite poor and he's been a bad luck with injuries. So all in all, it's a good deal. Rangers have done the business with him. I'm pleased for that, and I wish him well, as I say. Wish him just well. And I hope we don't ever go down that road again.
On you go, Fox, before we go for the tune, mate.
Before we go for the tune, there was one good bit that came out was Declan John, Ryan Giggs praising that since he's went to Ibrox, he's more or less came on a ton, mate, which is a good thing for our coaching staff and especially Graham Murty. It shows to other players that you can come to Ibrox, and if you train the way that Mr. Murty expects you can improve your game. So he was a success at the international break so far.
Aye. They both got a game in the 2 games. Actually, how did that finish today?
They get beat 1-0, I think, mate.
All right, okay.
The Uruguay.
All right. So, look, if you don't mind going on mute, lads, we'll have a tune for Fox.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes, and I've heard the forties roar. I've climbed the Indian Ocean, and I sailed the China Sea. But there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest. seven seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the earth again. I'm back where I belong. And we on lucky Saturday, I'll join the mighty throng. With flags and banners all around, I'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of Ireland. It's the greenest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of Ireland. And there's not every Indian player green. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of Ireland. It's the greenest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of Ireland. And it's not every Indian player green. And it's not every Indian player green.
It's a blue, blue, blue sea of Ibrox. Marvellous, isn't it? Wonderful song. Our anthem.
Don't like that man, Bridge, do you?
Oh, absolutely love it. I love the way they play it at Ibrox, you know, it's belt it out. It's really good. And the troops all love it.
There's been a lot of debate about that, just when you raise that. And interesting, people were talking about the match day experience and the tunes and how they it's about 5 minutes. There's no build up. There's no nothing. And then obviously the half-time draw. There was a great. I don't know where I've seen it, but I read in one of the forums that somebody was saying they're getting legends on to do the half-time draw, and we've got these big screens. We don't use them to tell the story of the player that played for us and show maybe his goals or his defending, or if it's Gorham or somebody that their saves. And we just sometimes shoot ourselves in the foot, Mount Vernon, eh?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've got to get the tunes on. You know what I mean? It's I kind of think that the sort of the build up to games are a bit. I just think they're a bit mundane. You know, I think we need to see a better way of building up to games and getting things, you know, moving forward. But it's one of the ones which is something we need to improve on, most definitely.
How important is it to you, Travel Rock, when you go with a wee fella? Does he like all that, or did you prefer it in the old days when you were back there in the 60s and that, when it was a crowd that made the atmosphere?
The wee man does get a bit bouncy when the tunes are getting played, and unfortunately it's probably no everybody's favourite, but he loves Penny Arcade, and so again it's each to their own. I noticed at the Kilmarnock game they changed some of the tunes, but they weren't as loud, so I don't know if they were trying something different, but there was different tunes getting played. So I don't know where I stand with it. It's even the guy that does the kind of compare, but he's no rattling drums and getting people going, you know. So it's a kind of difficult one. I mean Andy Campbell just to go out there and get everybody going. That was a wee bit interesting at times, but it's a strange one. It's no. If you go to sporting events in the States, it's a proper day out you have, you know, and there's loads of different entertainment. Going to a baseball match, it lasts for hours and hours, but there's all different things happening during the game, and they're not afraid to play the national anthem. Why would we not play the national anthem before the game?
They stop. The baseball stops at, I think it's the fourth inning, is that?
No, you get the seventh inning stretch.
Aye.
Everybody gets up and there's a wee stretch and a wee wander about and buy a packet of chewing gum and a hot dog or whatever. But genuinely, why don't? Could you imagine if they built it out? the national anthem before the game.
Oh, the crazies would love that, wouldn't they? They would.
Is that a reason not to do it, mate?
No, I mean, I'm absolutely. I think one of the greatest things about our club is that then, every home and away match, the Union Bears conduct a national anthem at the end, and I think it's something that down in England is down in England it's widely loved from it about our support. But I think absolutely. I mean, I would be.
Have you learned the second verse yet, Travel Rock?
No, I'm waiting for that lesson after you. But, no, but here's another thing. I mean, you're talking about the crazies. I mean, we have the Armed Forces Day. I mean, criticised for doing that, and I'm amazed that they are actually able and given the platform to criticise us for that. I mean, that's a great event. I mean, I take my wee boy along to that one. He loves it with the big gun and the boys abseiling after the Sandy Jardin and all that. That's a smashing day, and it's a great event for people that are serving the country. And we shouldn't be vilified for doing something like that. We shouldn't be criticised for doing something like that. So I'm afraid, again, we get back to it. See what I do, or what we do behind our closed doors, it's nothing to do with you. Let us get on with it. This is our way of thanking people for their service, or this is our way of trying to raise money for important charities and giving people good days out. Do you know what? It's got absolutely nothing to do with it. And I kind of I'm beginning to go along the whole line with this way. We're getting criticised for being bigots and sectarianism and all the rest of it. You know what? I would love the club to whether it could be done, to take a licence of some type and say, look, what this is, yes, the police can be there, but see what happens when we're in there for 90 minutes. Shouldn't concern anybody else. I can go and at the Old Firm game, and that lot can sing their songs. It doesn't offend me. I will sing my songs. It shouldn't offend them. We're in there for 90 minutes.
To be fair, you're not very good, mate. You're a bit tone deaf. I can vouch for that, mate.
But again, why should you be offended with my tone deafness?
Because I was right next to you. That's how I was offended. But he was nothing like yourself, Bridge. He was no tuning him at all.
I think Travelry's a really good point there, guys, and I think the sense that perhaps the club is very, very. I know that the Simply the Best now has been edited, so that for the crazies as well. I think, as I say, that I would really like for our culture to be part of the match day experience, and we should be very proud of it. I think it's something that there's no song that's been made illegal in this country as far as I'm concerned. I just don't get why we can't sing about our culture and about our community. It's, as far as I'm concerned, I'm absolutely in full agreement with Travel. I think it's a shame that our club is at the stage where it can't express itself. Fans can't safely express herself without potentially getting to jail.
I'm all for that as long as he's not doing the singing, mate. If I'm being honest,
Listen, we could maybe get that. I know, we could maybe look at that.
Can I come in on that a minute, Ox?
Yeah, I know you're a good baritone, Bridge.
Much as I agree with the guys are saying there, and particularly Mount, my sentiments are towards the club, and if Rangers, I think Travel said it quite well. Whatever happens in Ibrox happens in Ibrox, And if people want to complain, and go and complain to themselves and don't bother anyone else, they go to the authorities and the authorities listen. They're listening to them. So what is it they want us to do? That they want Rangers to stop doing what? They want it to stop singing? Is it particular songs? Let's come out and say it. Just come out and say what it is they want, and we'll find out just what it is they really want to do. I know I've mentioned it just earlier tonight. I mentioned it about the orange strip, and everybody would love to see Rangers having an orange strip. But of course, the moon howlers will come out and say that what's this? This is sectarian. So Rangers in an orange strip is sectarian. How ridiculous is that? We're a football team. We should be able to play in any colour we want. We should be able to sing any song we want, as long as it's not really, really offensive. But then they would probably think every song could be offensive in some way. So we need to get a definition or get that defined, or not. Maybe we should just, as a club, just turn around and say, we don't care, we're in by Ibrox, just like Travel says, and we'll sing what we want, and we don't want any arrests, we don't want any police in the place, just let us go on with it, and we'll do the business. That's my thoughts anyway.
I'd be interested to see what moves on. I mean, particularly, Travel, you're maybe out as honest now, you've got the youngest supporter that you take along to the game, and you want to encourage the youth. Things have changed, and in the not too distant past, people get took along to the game and they get lifted over a bridge and they get passed into the front. They went down the front in the terrace and they stood, which was mental, really. You think where all the bottles went, but that was another story. But that's how you encourage kids. People played football and went to football. It was part of what they'd done. If they weren't playing, they went and watched the Rangers, and if they were playing, fair play to them. And then they developed a love of the game, a love of the club. And now we're having to develop that differently, because you've not got the space in the ground. As True Blue says, you used to have the wide open spaces, Ibrox. You've not got that now. And we've got to develop young people, and we've got to. We might see things that we maybe think the Union Bears do right or wrong, but you've got to encourage them, because without the youth, you've not got a club going forward. And it's really important to have the next generation of supporters.
Could I just speak on that just quickly, please, if you don't mind?
There you go, mate.
Sorry, Travel, just if you don't mind. I'm 25, and I tell you the best thing that ever happened to me was.
Thanks very much, man.
No. Let me get in here. Best thing that ever happened to me was when my dad took me along to watch the famous Glasgow Rangers, and ever since then, I've been daft for Rangers. I mean, I go to bed thinking about Rangers and wake up thinking about Rangers. And the one thing I will say is, see, in terms of the younger generation, I think the younger generation, in terms of their support, and we see it through our bus, that predominantly I would say around about 60 to 7% now of our bus is probably guys that are 25 to 30 years young. You know, we've got a very, very strong young support, and we see it at Ibrox as well. We see there's Travelrug taking his young lad along with him, and I think, to be fair and I think to be honest, I think our support in terms of the youth is galvanised. I think that the young boys now, some of the young boys now are going along are just absolutely loyal to the core, and I think for us it's so important as supporters, as Rangers supporters clubs, as platforms like this, is that we promote our youth culture through our team, and for me, guys, I'm just incredibly proud of the young bears that are going through, and do you know what? Some of the young bears I've not seen what the older bears have seen, but hopefully when their day comes,
they've not seen. They've had a bad run, mate. But we've had bad runs.
That's that. But it's coming, and I think the young bears know that. You know, the young bears know that.
Mount, what I'd like to add to what you're saying is that I see what you're saying. There's a generation, or part of a generation, I think, 17, 18 up to what you're saying 30. There's always good crowds of boys all going like that, but it's the ones younger than that we've got a real chance where we could lose these kids, because it's easy for kids now to support, sit in the house and watch Sky Sports and become Barcelona and Man United and Liverpool fans. I know what it's like trying to keep my way interested in the Rangers, and particularly when I'm taking them along, it's freezing and they're crap and they're getting beaten. But I'll take another angle on it. My missus refuses to let me take him to the Rangers Celtic game.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh no, I really want to take him. He needs to see this, be part of this atmosphere and everything. But then that last game, that lot flung a firecracker into the enclosure.
Blinded the
enclosure, and the wee Wayne had his hearing damaged. 10-year-old Wayne.
Yeah.
And that made me think, you know what, I don't want to bring my boy to this. If that can't be controlled, if that type of thing can happen in our Range Stadium, I won't take him, because until I can be certain that type of thing isn't going to happen, then I won't be taking the wee man to the game. That type of game.
I'm sure that was splashed all over the media, all over the front pages, all over the back pages. Yeah.
Aye.
I'd also like to see as well, on a serious point, what share on that point that Travelrug raised. I find it quite extraordinary that our fans' liaison officer and other individuals in the club haven't come out with a response, or the Police Scotland for that matter, because
Club 1872.
Yeah, because I
don't talk to me about them, Travelrug.
I'm no one to personalise this, but the young fella who went along to the game, regardless if it was a Rangers or a Celtic fan, that isn't right, and that for me as well. We've also had another situation where a young supporter was on a supporters bus going to Hampden a good few years ago now, where a bottle was thrown out the window, and that young man also had lasting effects, shall we say. And regardless of partisan and all that, at the end of the day, it was a young lad who went along to a football match who was assaulted.
Surprised. I'm really surprised. Have you ever been in the control room at Ibrox Mount?
I haven't. No, I've seen it. I can see it across from where I sit, but I know what you're saying.
If you've ever seen it, mate, you can see it's just frighteningly clear how you can see everybody on the seats and with a wee bit of homework, you can work out who done something. You might struggle to get a face because of the movement, who threw something, but you'd be able to eliminate a lot of people who didn't throw it.
Yeah.
And work out who did. With a wee bit of.
I'm very strong on this. Mate, because I would hate if it was the other way about, and I mean that, and I mean that truly. That I would hate for somebody else to do that to a young Celtic fan, but regardless of what people think. And regardless of what people think of these people that we're dealing with across the city, to do that to a young man, a young lad, for no reason, other than absolute stupidity, I don't think that's right. And I think as a society, we've got to kick these people out, regardless of their team or their religion even. That's probably what it comes down to in this country. And I think we have got to seriously understand why our club. Could you imagine if that happened at Parkhead? A young lad, who'd been damaged by that, I would be appalled, personally speaking. And if I knew that individual, you would seriously have to think about it. Do you know what I mean? And I think
society's changed. I mean, used to get hit. When I used to get hit with the bottles, it was Bridget used to throw them at me.
Aye, that's that. But I mean, where's the comment? Where's the comment for the club on this one, mate? That's what I'm going to say. And I don't normally like to bring the club into into limelight in terms of from a negative point of view, but we've not really heard anything from this, and I don't think it's right that we've not heard anything from the club on that.
And I'm not sticking up for the club here. I think the trouble is when you get into Rangers and Celtic games, mate, it'll be tit for tat, mate.
Yeah, I know.
You see pictures of the broken seats at Ibrox in the last game, all the broken seats, and then they'll show the toilets for Parkhead Cup last season, so it's always tit for tat, and it's a hard one to win. But I've no condoning anybody who throws the pyrotechnics and these bangers which crept into the game. It's a real accident waiting to happen, Bridgeman.
Absolutely. But I mean, we've been particularly at Hampden, and there's been dozens of them thrown from both ends, and it's been the smoke bombs and the bangers, and you're thinking, wait a minute, okay, maybe at that point in time we might find a bit of hilarity in it, but when you sit down and think about it, particularly with the news about that young laddie having an impact on his hearing, and he's been kept in hospital and so on and so forth, so you think to yourself, seriously, boys, let's get a grip of ourselves here. Why do we need to take these things in? I know the youngsters like these things, the noise and the smoke and so on. So they like that. Personally speaking, I'm not too keen if it's going to impact on other people and cause danger to other people. So I think as a fan base, we should maybe ask other fans to say, no, don't do that, please. I don't know what else we can do other than get them arrested. You know what I mean? I don't want any of our fans arrested at all. But if they're doing it and they're causing problems, then with these things, it has to be done.
It's like a, how to put this? It's like Fox is into it, and you're going to laugh when I say this. For somebody, it's a different generation. Fox likes all the ultra seed and all that. It's a fashion thing in football at the moment. It's something that's crept into the game maybe in the last 10 years in this country. So it's a fashionable thing, and the pyrotechnics are part of it. And I don't mind it. But what you can't guarantee is that somebody's not going to get hurt, and that's the problem. That's always a problem, that somebody will not get hurt. Fox?
Aye, well, I like mate. The match day experience now for me is poor, mate. It's been poor for years. It's been poor since we had all the season tickets and people off the buses couldn't go and generate atmosphere at Ibrox. People now wait to the last minute before they go into the ground because there's nothing on before it. And the ultra scene, mate, it's all over Europe. The young kids love it. Same as back in our day, we would find something today and all, mate, that older people wouldn't hang me. I think you've got to give them a bit of freedom. Let the young people do what they want to do. Apart from the pyrotechnics, mate, I think the club should be supplying the Union Bears with displays and money for displays and all sorts of things. We've got big screens in there that don't get used. Why don't they have competitions? I don't know. I'm not into all the games they play, but maybe picking out 4 of the young boys and doing things before the start of the game, like they can play Football Manager or FIFA or something and have a competition there the season. That gets the young. There's nothing for the youngins today, mate.
So once again, that team, the other side of the city, were way ahead of us because they were picking out 4 young boys out their crowd years ago.
I'm not talking about that. You know what? You know what I mean, mate. It's absolutely. I don't go into the last minute. There's nothing to go in for, mate. It's all right for people that's in maybe in the hospitality. They can have a beer. They can all stand together, chat together. They don't come out of hospitality to 5 to 3. But what about the rest of the crowd, mate? People are asking, where's the atmosphere? There's nothing there to create an atmosphere.
Fox,
and they need to think about things, or these young boys will drift away for the game. I've watched young guys sitting next to the doing for me, mate, come in with their dads, and they're bored out their tree before the game starts. And some of the games we've had to watch this season, they've been bored through it and after it and away home again, mate. You need to entice young boys in, and the ultra scene is one of it. I'm not, as I say, I'm not for the pyrotechnics, but they must be able to do something for them to attract them into the ground, mate. You know.
They've got the fan zone thing, but if you look at that, I mean, you'd think of the weather we get in this country. It's an open air thing. Any time I've walked past it recently, it just looks miserable. It's pissing down and fair enough, they get ex-players and all that there, and they try different things, but in reality, they probably should be doing something that's covered up, that's and the Waynes get to go and kick a ball about and all that. But you know what? Put a roof there or something. Get them out the snidey weather. And I know they've got the family stand, but I've sat in the main stand for years. I'm not going to give up my seat in the main stand to go and get a seat in the family stand to then lose that seat whenever we play the Rotters. So I can't.
Well, how do you generate an atmosphere, mate? How do you generate an atmosphere at Ibrox? The fans are scared to sing in case they get lifted, mate. And there's nothing else to bring in atmosphere. We should have something. I don't care if it's an under-16 game, half an hour each way, mate. Start getting the crowds in early. Because you stand outside and chat, as you say, it's all right because the weather, when the weather is good, but when the weather is bad, mate, people just want to get out of the rain, so they go in and sit. They just go in and sit and look at each other, mate. There is nothing to do, absolutely nothing. And as for the food, and I
was just going to say that.
If you get 2 pies the same twice a season, mate, you're lucky. They're either brick hard or no. Or freezing cold. There's never anything in the middle, you know.
See, on the last Saturday home game against Kilmarnock. They ran out of hot water. There was no hot water in the main stand. They couldn't even get a ball for a lot of half time.
I got down to one in the corridor down the stairs for me, mate. You're lucky if there's 40 people in the queue and you can stand there and miss a quarter of an hour of the second half, mate. The service is terrible and the food is terrible and there's no entertainment at half time whatsoever, you know.
And he also jumped the queue, mate. He jumped the queue because I was there first and he said, he jumped in.
On a kind of related subject.
We can make it excited, mate. We can make it exciting if people just knock their heads together and give the fans what they want. You know, there's no another business in the world that continually doesn't give their customers what they want. They go out of business, mate. That's what happens. If you don't give the customers what they want, you go out of business.
No,
you know.
But we keep going back. We keep buying the shitey pies. We keep standing there twiddling our thumbs whilst the half-time 20 minutes is passing. We keep going back. And they know that we'll keep going back. So, people won't vote with their feet because we love our club and we go to watch football. And you're right. We don't get treated like valued customers. They know we're going to go back.
It's a difficult... I don't know how we go for that for the match day experience, but what would you do then? I'll give you there's 3 things you can do, Travel Rock. What would you do to improve it? I mean, we're talking about, obviously, we're not talking about the football in the park, we're talking about other things surrounding the day.
See, there's something. Fox has mentioned that he wanted to see the boy Cammy Palmer. Well, could they not put our young boys out there at half time for a wee competitive quarter an hour game and you can get a look at some of these youth players?
Travel, if they'll not let you walk onto the centre circle to look at the stadium when you're doing a tour, they're not going to let another 22 people run about playing a match on it.
I'm not saying that, but just set up the goals and pick half of 10 of the under 15s against 10 of the under 5 of the under 15s against 5 of the under 16s or something like that. And you can look and you can see, and do you know what? Do it every so often, so you're saying, that was that boy we seen a few weeks ago or whatever. I mean, this is totally off the top of my head. And Rangers ladies, I'm sure it was a couple of weeks ago. I read.
Now you're talking. I've just had a PM for Fox. Now you're talking Travel Rock.
Well, I'll tell you, Travel. I was lucky enough to go to the rugby sevens at the Commonwealth Games. It was a different world at Ibrox, mate. Absolutely different world. You could go up, you could get yourself a beer, you could get yourself some decent food. There was good variety. There was a DJ on the park going round talking to people in the crowd and getting the wins and talking. You wouldn't have thought it was Ibrox. It was light years ahead of what we get at the present time. And MD was at that rugby sevens, and it was mostly families, mate, that were there. But they all enjoyed it because they made it a match day experience for the rugby sevens. It was fantastic.
Yes, and I spoke with people who weren't the Rangers supporters. They were rugby fans, and they were absolutely raving about our stadium and how it's ideal for that type of thing.
So how can they know?
It's a great view. It's a great view. Yeah. Travel Rock, and we'll go to the concourses, and we don't use them, mate. We don't use them properly. They have to get made bigger, and they have to make sure that going to the toilet just becomes, it's not a chore, and people have to fight because things have moved on. And then you use the concourses, as you use them as part of the experience of people getting in the game. The food's good, they're getting in, they meet in there. People should be able to meet in there and then make their way to their seat at their allotted time. And then people are in and it's slow getting there, whereas everybody's starting, as you said, that we're all starting outside to 10 to 3 chatting because there's nothing going on. Nothing going on.
But they see it working, Ox, because they know by hospitality that it works. It seems to be at Ibrox, if you've got the money, you can enjoy yourself. But for the rest of us, it's just you have to make do, and that's wrong, you know.
we're into a class situation. I'm sure we don't want to go into debate.
No, I'm not. I mean, don't worry. The guys that go into hospitality pay through the nose for it, mate. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that we should slag the people in hospitality, but they go early because there's something there to go for. It's not the same for the normal guy in the other stands, mate. You know.
So, would you think there should be a section in all the stands where they're not just in the family, that some of the players that's injured, an autograph section or in like that to get people in before the game? And you've got to improve the purvey at Ibrox, mate. It's got to be improved, mate. It's worse now than it ever was, isn't it? Really, let's be honest about it.
I mean, I've not heard me Brock saying his family, mate, but walking about the park waving to people, I think we could get something a bit better than that before the game starts, you know. Get singers there. There's plenty of young Rangers supporting singers to do a wee set for 20 minutes or something, from 2:30 to 10 to 3 or something. Do something different.
I think the difficulty with the whole matchday experience is that culturally football's changed so dramatically, and I think other sports such as like rugby and things like that, again, I think it's what Oxford's saying, it's a bit of a class issue within this country. I've been at a few Glasgow Warrior games, especially on the Friday night, and it's more of a family and sort of, you know, social occasion rather than perhaps say a sporting event. And I think the key with what we do is that we're a working class sport. I don't think certain people would maybe want to Americanise, perhaps maybe is the word, and commercialise it as well. And for that, so I think it's about offering perhaps a better, you know, match day experience, you know, better food, better, you know, hygiene issues, you know, such as hot water. You know, I mean, it's the 21st century. We don't have, you know, we need hot water in our stadium. We need perhaps maybe entertainment, perhaps for the kids. I know the club's trying to do that, but improving the quality of things already that we have. Maybe improving the quality of these type of things and the quality on the park. These things perhaps wouldn't become as much of an issue, sort of going forward.
The only entertainment that they provide before the game is follow with pride, follow with pride, follow with pride. All these players standing there saying that's the only thing they show on the big screens. You're right, they're no used to anywhere near their potential.
No, you're absolutely right. We need to get the things already in place just now, but better quality, you know, better quality product, and we'll ultimately sell more, you know.
I think it should be a given that there should be hot water and the purvey should improve Bridge Manor. It's not a lot to ask for in the 21st century, is it?
Well, you know, you've got a good idea how I feel about it. I've been complaining bitterly about it for quite a while, particularly hot water. I mean, people use a toilet, you know. You've got to be civilization. Get some hot water. I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it costs. Maybe it needs more toilets, because you know, you run out of paper very quickly as well in these places. It's really and truly, it's quite shambolic. Now, it might be a money thing. Maybe we just don't have the cash to do all these things. So I'm trying to be as sympathetic as possible with Rangers. But Rangers have been pushing close to full capacity on a fortnightly basis, or just about a fortnightly basis anyway. And they still haven't mastered the art yet. They still haven't mastered the art. Somewhere along the line, we need hot water. Somewhere along the line, we need tissues to dry your hands after you've washed them. But please, get it right. And of course, just what you mentioned there, the food areas, something needs to be helped. The guys need help. Somebody needs help in there, because you can't have queues like that. You've got to be doing there 20 minutes before half time, and you're no back, some of them, until maybe 10 minutes after that, maybe more. And you know, it's just daft. And please use the screens for really good entertainment for the fans in the stadium. Good entertainment for them.
In this country, the best stadium I've been in for, it wasn't the best viewing stadium because the seats I had happened to be too far away from the park. the couple of times I've been to Wembley, the facilities and the concourse at Wembley is with the food and the toilets is just out of this world. And obviously we're not going to be able to go and do that next week, but if there's a plan and if support see things improving, they'll buy into it, Travel Rock.
I think he's just dropped out.
Yes, I think so. Can I follow on that? I think they will buy in well. And this Mount Vernon said it. He goes to a lot of the away games. I don't know what the facilities like are at the away games now. I can't believe that Celtic Park is any better than Ibrox, if it's anywhere near Ibrox. But as a quality stadium, as a European quality stadium, we fall apart in these wee areas we mentioned. And it'd be really smart for Rangers at board level to take cognizance of that. Maybe even Club 1872, and maybe even the fans liaison officer. Maybe they should be looking at these things and taking notes and saying, let's get this right. Why are we running out of hot water? Why? Why do we run out of hot water on match day? The only time it's really needed is a match day, for God's sake. So please get it right. Please.
I think the key thing as well, guys, I think in terms of what Bridgeman was saying in terms of the infrastructure of Scottish football, I think the key with the thing, for example, I was at the Ayr United game and they had 2 portaloos for probably about 4,500 fans. But two portaloos one side of the park and perhaps maybe 2 or 3 the other side of the park for our fans. They had the facilities in these type of stadiums, vastly changed from stadium to stadium. I think there is certain stadiums that you go to that they've got the correct amenities, but as I said, I think it's we've got to improve. We've got to improve the fare, got to improve the entertainment, and hopefully the team on the park will improve, because ultimately these issues become less and less, and the more success we have, and that's got to be the key for things going forward. Just getting the purvey right and getting the amenities properly done, and maybe try to do better with the concourses as well. Perhaps maybe some merchandise stalls and within the concourse.
You're here now. You're here.
Some.
With ex-players or players that's injured, selling it, signing it.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's these kids are. I mean, I seen in Florida that they were doing a meet and greet session, the team. So perhaps maybe putting more events like that on, maybe just before the match, maybe a couple of hours before the match. But no, it's one of the ones. It's one of the ones. But I think there's improvements on and off the park got to be made.
I don't think this is just our club. I mean, I think the game's got to evolve, and what's done. I mean, society's changed, and people will not put up with it. You'll not be able to keep serving up that fare and the facilities for another 2 generations. Things will change, and you might lose support.
I don't care about the other stadiums, mate. I only care about Ibrox. We're a 5-star stadium. We should have 5-star facilities for the fans. I mean, we're the most important people at Ibrox. We're the ones that turn up every game, mate. Buy our season tickets, buy the lotto, buy everything. It's the chase for the blue pound, mate, is getting so bad now that there's that many people selling other things about the stadium that nobody benefits out it. Some people will buy this, some people will buy that. It should all be together and all ran by the club, mate. For merchandising right through everything. Nobody else should be allowed to earn money apart from the club, and that should be reinvested into the comfort of the support, mate.
Are you saying that we're trying to raise that much money?
By the way, we've been joined by Denver again.
Oh, is he back? How are we doing, Denver?
All right, guys. Just a couple of questions on that subject. One is, all these suggestions you're making, does anybody look into that at the club? Is there anybody you could go to in the club? And the other question I've got is there any to stop us like getting in Pizza Hut or one of the outside Greg's Bakery even and giving them the franchise for it, and we get a cut of that money, and then the food, would be up better quality, We've got a lot of that here in the States,
I think we're stuck. I think we're stuck with the who's Titan. I think we're stuck with the catering to the contracts up, mate. I don't know how that worked. How everything else was ripped up when we went into admin, but the person the people who had the catering managed to keep that. I don't know how that worked. Maybe it was just the 2-pay laws that meant we were stuck with it. I don't know. But we're stuck with that as long as we're stuck with it. I mean, Denver really, the pies are worse now. And I was with Fox. I was only getting a soft drink, and he was getting a pie and a Bovril, I think. And the pies are worse now than they were in the 70s at Ibrox.
I think they are for the 70s, mate, if you ask me.
Perhaps Denver, we have a vehicle already in place. Club 1872 perhaps would be a vehicle for those type of questions, mate. But
you missed 10 minutes of the show, mate.
I'm wondering if Club 1872 are the organisation that would do that. I'm wondering if it should be the fans liaison officer. Maybe he's part of Club 1872. I don't know, but I think the fans liaison officer.
He might be as an individual, mate, but he's got a job to do now. That's a different thing.
Yeah, I would suggest it's that. But any complaints about that? That's not to say that Club 1870 couldn't take it up as a fan group and do it and say it. But for people who aren't in Club 1872, maybe we should have an avenue to drop an email into. Maybe the liaison officer's got a couple of people working for him. I don't know. But you should be able to drop an email and say, look, this is crap. Can we get this sorted? Or when are we going to do such and such? And hopefully they would be able to answer you and tell you, I don't know.
But some of the things they're not going to be quick fixes, Pitch.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
But
they're long term.
People will, if every time they come back after pre-season and they see things are improving, they'll buy into it.
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely. I think there's a feeling that people, from the fans anyway, there's a feeling of impotence in the sense that they've been going to Ibrox, like myself, just for saying sake, certainly since our really bad days, and we've had virtually no hot water at all in the Copeland rear. No hot water at all, right? That I can remember. So I may be wrong. I might be just be unlucky. But we're only talking about half-time here. We're only speaking about half-time. So when the crucial times that are required for people to go use the toilet facilities and wash their hands, there is no hot water. And I would assume, forgive me, I would assume that it's the same in most areas of Ibrox. Now, health and safety, we'll call it what you like, but surely the fans liaison people and the board should actually know about that by now. It's been like that for years. Now, maybe they've got something planned to upgrade all the toilet facilities, which would be great if they could do that.
Denver, getting back to your thing, yeah, I mean, that's when they go to the States, mate, they can go to the stadiums and learn for how they do the match days experience with the food, etc. Obviously, the whole thing's set up differently. They're car park barbecues. We don't do that in this country. We go to the pub. But when they're in the ground, as you said, I was at the baseball a couple of years back in Tampa, and they've got their big food hall, and I can't remember all the companies were there, but there was a steakhouse, a rib place, Papa John's pizzas, and it was served quick and fast, and away you went, and you could come back to it any time, and it was all there for you.
Well, that's the thing, Ox. These companies have got their reputation to keep up, So, get them in, do a franchise, keep the fans happy, get them the proper grub, and then Rangers get a kickback after it. It means Rangers are not having to invest in all that stuff as well, It means the companies that do it, they've got to invest in all that stuff, So, the one abiding memory I have every time I come back for Ibrox is the smell of piss when you go to the toilet. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I mean, Scottish piss doesn't smell any different from American piss, but it doesn't smell like it out here, man. Unbelievable.
I'm going to say it smells worse at the piggery than it does at Ibrox. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, everything smells worse at the piggery now, you know.
It's just tough to slowly but surely. It wouldn't be priority when we started this journey, Denver, but it was something that we took my eye off the ball, and because you're having to bring it back up to a standard, it would cost even more money. And then if you want to improve it, it all comes down to pounds, shillings and pence. But I'm sure if we got it right and we've seen the stands improving like we did in the 70s up to the early 80s, and the fans supported it through the Rangers pools, Fox, if the fans seen it was happening and we'd done it right, they'd buy into it again.
Of course they would, mate. I mean, I've always, before 1872 started up, when I was all for some sort of scheme, mate, where the fans would improve their own facilities, mate. You know, I mean, if the fans were to raise, for instance, X amount of money today, especially outside, put up some sort of covering where people could meet their pals, stand and talk, or do it inside the ground, stand and talk. But the way the season tickets work now, mate, it doesn't work, because you can go on a motor, 4 guys, and then you are sitting in the same stand, never mind standing next to each other. There's no facilities in Ibrox, and I keep going back to that day at the rugby sevens, mate. I was absolutely I hate rugby. I only went along because I got tickets for it, mate. But it was a good day out. The atmosphere was fantastic. All the facilities were great. And then you go back and you go into Ibrox now, mate, and as I keep saying, it's all right in the places like Bar 72, etc., where you pay extra, you get the facilities. What about the rest of us, mate, that want to just go and have a beer and a pint and a talk with their pals, you know?
I think I've said it before on here, mate. I think we're missing a trick with the concourses, mate. You should be able to walk right round, meet your mates, go in, and then at allotted time you have to make your right your seat.
And well, we're there. No, another bugbear. I mean, this is a right moaning face show. This is the most moaning we've done all season, mate. But the traffic chaos at Ibrox and all. What did the Polars get paid for, mate? What did they do? They don't even switch the lights off and direct to traffic. You're left to go on with your own way of getting out. It's absolute pandemonium, mate, you know.
The best one is the buses. That takes about half an hour to get your bus out of the back of.
No, that's no Rangers' fault, you know.
No, it's the Polish. I mean, it's the Polish causing mayhem. Do you know what I mean? The Polish should be shutting off the lights and allowing people to get out. Do you know what I mean? It's just an accident waiting to happen. Do you know what I mean? Just pure stupid.
You think they would want all the buses on the motorways away as quick as possible, wouldn't you? You know, but I've witnessed that. It was about a year ago actually when me, you, and Roxy Fox, and we were using the car, and it was unbelievable how you had to go to get on the motorways about 100 yards away. You know.
So see half an hour before the game's due to come out, mate. They should cut off a lane, the inside lane, to let the traffic flow right onto the motorway, mate. You go up to the lights when you come out the car park. If you're lucky to get out the car park sometimes, you know, and you go up the road and you go and it's queue right up to there. I mean, I remember years ago there was a police at every set of traffic lights, mate. The one thing they had to do was get rid of the traffic as quick as they possibly could. Now it's a case of if you park anywhere round about Ibrox, mate, your car's lifted if you're not exactly in the right position, you know.
This is true, by the way. This is true.
Is it not like a mile and a half? It's a direct circle in Ibrox. If your motor's parked, your motor's getting lifted. Do you know what I mean? It's stupid.
When you're going in, mate, you can see the trucks circling, mate. They're like lions looking for their prey, and they're going about looking for people's motor lift. You know.
I remember.
Don't take Bridge. He gets my motor lifted.
I remember.
Oh, see you. You're shocking, by the way. You are. You're a shocker.
Remember a game last year? I can't remember what it was, man. There was a guy proper arguing with one of the guys. That's why I was chuckling. I just remembered that. But it's just mental. It's mental that some of these people, you know,
I mean, even the wee car park down at the corner there, the old Albion, I don't know how long it takes. I don't know if travel parks in there sometimes, but it must take half an hour to 45 minutes to get out of there after the game. No matter which way you're going to go, it must take that amount of time. It's just dreadful. Just dreadful.
Yeah, if they used the concourses right and there was maybe something on after the game, mate, people would maybe stand for 20 minutes. And
absolutely. You're absolutely right, You're absolutely right.
If they were heated warm, they'd meet, have a coffee or whatever, stand there for
have a pint.
Have
a pint if you want, with your mates. Have a pint with your mates.
And talk about the game.
You're not driving, of course. Providing you're not driving.
And talk about the game just after it's happened. But you can't get together. You can't get together. But anyway, I'm sure we'll get there one thing at a time. And some of these problems are only going to be magnified when we get a good team in the Parkmount, because there's going to be even more people wanting to go.
The thing is, mate, I've said it on here quite a few times, is if we can get a winning team on that park and take it to the beasts, then we're going to need to put more stones into Ibrox. We're going to need to build on top of the Govan and top of the Coatland and the Broomage. I mean, we're going to need to put more seats in. It's just we're selling it. There was a Kilmarnock game sold it. There's another away match. God knows that way, number 130, mate. 30. Oh.
You all right?
I think we've lost them. I think it's about 130 sell-out we've had in a row. Remarkable.
Fantastic.
You hear me all right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I was just about to say that. 130 now for away matches. We can get a winning formula on that park. We're going to need to build and tap it.
Can I just say something, Mount Vernon, on those figures that you're saying? You never hear that mentioned on the news. They never mention this fact that this Rangers have sold out their away allocation. That no pundits mention it when if they're on the radio or Rock Sport, for instance. That maybe now and again you'll get that wee Hughie Burns. He might say something like that, but very, very few people ever mention these things. But they'll tell you that they got a fabulous crowd at Dundee United, 6,000 people or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I just can't believe they don't tell you. They don't tell the world these things. It's like a secret, It's like a secret.
Oh, well, they should tell us. We can all keep secrets.
I'll tell you what. We're speaking about Ibrox, and we're speaking about some of the problems there. And I have to say, there's a lot of guys in the lobby and listening, they'll probably agree with me here. God knows what it would have been like if King and his cohorts didn't take over Ibrox and Rangers, because they was definitely running it down, and they were running it right into the ground. I think that's what was happening to us. We were just going to be a nothing. It cost millions to upgrade Rangers, millions and millions.
I think it has done, mate. I think that
absolutely.
When you're starting to maintain things, but you've also got to repair it. Sometimes repair costs more money than building something from scratch.
Absolutely, pal.
But it's look, we'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there, and it's small steps, Foxer.
Small steps, yeah, that's the best word for it. But the sooner we address some of the problems, the better, mate.
Aye, I'm sure. And I suppose the thing about it is we have to make sure and we maybe let people know. There's a difference between complaining and letting people know if there's something wrong in the stadium. With modern technology, most people can put an email for their phone and let the appropriate people know so they can maybe address it. They don't always know about it after the event. Anyway, interesting show. Denver, thanks for your input, mate.
Thanks, guys. I just was interested to get the answer to the questions, and you did well. It's interesting to know how many pies are left at the end of the game if they're that bad, man.
They don't go to waste, mate. They always get them the next time.
They're still there
for the
phone.
Well, you said that for the 70s anyway, Fox, so that's probably still there yet.
What happened to the good old rolling sausage? That would go down better than a pie for me,
Aye, yeah. So, you just need to do simple stuff, that's it,
that last old firm gave me, I got me, gave me his pie. He said, "Here, hot these." I said, "What is it?" He gave me his teeth before he started eating the pie.
What? Oh no.
Anyway,
tell me the Colorado Avalanche are using the pies for pucks out here. So there you go.
Anyway, Denver, give us a shout out, mate.
Just to thank you guys very much for everything you do and keep me in the loop and all that. And really looking forward. Is it Sunday this game this week, isn't it?
Saturday, mate. Sunday. Saturday. Is it Saturday?
Saturday. Okay, so
I'm just checking.
I know you guys changed the clock, so we're back to that 7-hour time difference again. So it'll be 5:30 in the morning. I'm up. Anyway, all the best, guys, and thanks very much for all you do.
Thanks very much, Denver. Always a pleasure, mate. Mount Vernon, sorry.
Can I give a big shout out to all the guys on the show? Fantastic. Can I give a big shout out to all the Bears around the world, especially Denver and all the overseas Bears and the Bears local. Just remember, guys, we are the people.
Fox?
Good night, thanks for listening.
Murrow, 12:30 Saturday, Denver, yeah?
All right, I'm on it.
All right. Easter. Remember, Sunday's Easter Sunday, isn't it? Oh, it's a big holiday. Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say? Marvellous show tonight. Really informative. A bit of moaning initially, but I'm sure we'll go over that.
A bitching session. A wee
bit of bitching session. Foxy was shocking. Absolutely shocking. But no, seriously, can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, please keep it going for the Rangers, because we need it. Keep it going.
Yeah, here, can I thank Denver Bear for joining us? And I also thank my mate Travelrug for coming in, Mount Vernon, Fox and Bridgeman for joining the panel. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow evening between 9 and 11, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Fox.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad, times of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white, from the day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I too have a lad, I would show him the way as he did on that day. And so now here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. When I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. For the day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the jurors, my father and son. And it's sure safe to say, at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. But when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad. Times of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers.